Hello and welcome back. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay informed on the latest news affecting the royal family. In the winter of 2024, a moment of quiet gravity settles over the United Kingdom. Buckingham Palace releases a statement that no one expected and yet, perhaps in the back of many minds, feared might one day come. His Majesty King Charles III, just over a year into his reign, has been diagnosed with cancer. The announcement is carefully worded, delicately presented, and unmistakably personal. It follows what had originally been a routine hospital procedure, a benign prostate enlargement treated in a planned manner. But it is during that treatment that doctors identify a separate concern. The palace chooses not to specify the type or stage of the cancer. It's a decision that respects the king's privacy, while also inviting quiet concern and reflection across the nation and beyond. This is not just a medical update. It is a rare and deeply human moment in the life of a monarch, one who has spent decades preparing for the crown and now finds himself navigating not just constitutional responsibilities, but a very personal battle that thousands across the country know all too well. In an era when leaders are often pressured to project infallibility, the palace's transparency is both notable and necessary. The king's condition is made public not through rumor but through clarity. It sets a tone of openness without overexposure. The message is simple: His Majesty is unwell, he is receiving treatment, and he remains committed to serving. And indeed, commitment becomes the undercurrent of what follows. King Charles, despite the diagnosis, chooses not to retreat entirely from public life. He cancels or postpones public-facing engagements but continues his constitutional work behind closed doors. The famous red boxes, those daily bundles of state documents, policy briefings, and correspondence, continue to arrive. Charles reads them, responds, and governs even as he receives treatment. It is a quiet but powerful signal that the monarchy remains stable, functioning, and focused. Yet behind the walls of Clarence House in Highgrove, the man, not just the monarch, is undergoing something profoundly intimate and challenging. Cancer treatment is, by nature, invasive. It is exhausting, both physically and emotionally. And when the patient is not just a citizen but the sovereign, the stakes feel impossibly high. Every appearance, every absence, every photo taken or not taken becomes a matter of national interest. In March 2025, after months of relative calm, the palace announces that the king has suffered a temporary setback due to side effects from his ongoing treatment. He is admitted briefly to the hospital. The news prompts another wave of public concern. Across the UK and the Commonwealth, messages of support flood in from politicians, religious leaders, and perhaps most movingly, ordinary people who have walked the same path. Cancer, after all, is the great leveler. It does not discriminate. And in this shared struggle, the line between monarch and subject feels less like a wall and more like a bridge. Throughout it all, Charles remains composed. Those closest to him describe a man who finds solace in routine and purpose. His schedule, even during illness, remains structured. Mornings begin early. Letters are signed. Phone calls are returned. His private secretaries continue to note his insistence on keeping up with his constitutional role, even if just for a few hours each day. It is not stubbornness. It is a sense of duty so deeply woven into his being that to stop entirely would feel like surrender. Queen Camilla plays a central role in this quiet chapter. Known for her steadiness, her subtle strength, and her emotional intuition, she becomes the king's primary support system. She steps in when needed, carries out engagements on behalf of the crown, and stands beside her husband, not as a figure of ceremony but as a partner in every sense of the word. Theirs is a relationship built not on headlines but on quiet resilience. In these months it shows more than ever. Princess Anne, too, makes her presence felt. Shortly after Charles is hospitalized in March, she is seen visiting him, unannounced, unphotographed, but very much present. Their sibling bond, forged through shared childhood and decades of royal life, is now a source of personal comfort. It is a reminder that, even in royal circles, family matters most when the world falls away. And then there is the Prince of Wales. Prince William, now increasingly central to the functioning of the monarchy, is facing challenges of his own. With his wife, Princess Catherine, also undergoing preventative cancer treatment, the pressures on the younger generation are immense. Yet William steps up quietly, fulfilling duties, engaging with the public, and continuing to protect his family's privacy. Behind the scenes, insiders suggest that the shared experience of illness between Charles and Kate has created a new intimacy within the family. The king and his daughter-in-law reportedly exchange words of encouragement, share updates, and support one another not just as royals, but as people facing something raw and difficult. In quieter moments, those close to the king note that he turns to one of his lifelong passions, the natural world. Highgrove, his country home in Gloucestershire, becomes a space for both treatment and healing. The gardens he designed, once seen as eccentric by critics, now celebrated for their sustainability, offer calm, rhythm, and retreat. Charles walks, observes, and tends to small details. It is not escape. It is restoration. Importantly, the king's approach to healing has long included complementary medicine. A known advocate of homeopathy and integrated health, he is believed to combine conventional treatments with wellness strategies that reflect his personal philosophy. Meditation, dietary care, and herbal support are all part of a wider approach that he has championed for years, now brought to bear in the most personal of ways. As spring 2025 unfolds, the monarchy finds itself in a place of introspection. The Queen, the King, the Prince and Princess of Wales, each of them navigating personal trials, each of them watched closely by a public seeking both continuity and compassion. And in this complex moment, Charles's quiet resilience becomes more than a private act. It becomes a symbol of how the monarchy adapts, endures, and responds to human challenge. The king's cancer diagnosis has changed the tempo of royal life. But it has not derailed it. If anything, it has reinforced something the late Queen Elizabeth II always embodied, the idea that duty and humanity are not opposites but companions. Charles, like his mother, leads not by perfection but by presence. In the months ahead, much remains uncertain. Treatment will continue. Public appearances may be fewer. But the tone has been set. This is a monarch who does not shy from vulnerability, who speaks when it matters, and who, even in illness, remains engaged. It is a story not of crisis but of quiet courage. And in that story many find not just admiration but connection. As the palace releases occasional updates and as the king continues his journey toward recovery, one truth stands firm: the crown is still worn not just with ceremony but with strength. And behind the headlines, the United Kingdom witnesses something quietly remarkable. A king who, in confronting illness, reveals not weakness but depth. And in doing so, reminds his people of the enduring human heart of monarchy. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay informed and stay engaged.